All right, a meditation you can repeat, certainly so. We encourage you to do so. As you feel that urge to change, this meditation can help you do so with more elegance, with more ease. And so from time to time to review it. All right, and we have time for questions. John, who begins?
Monica.
Hi, beautiful Tara. Looking beautiful like always.
Yes, dear one, where do we begin?
Oh, Monica, you may have to do it again.
Have you allowed everyone to unmute?
I did.
All right.
Hi.
Yes, please repeat whatever you just said.
Yes, beautiful Tara. Something you said 2 weeks ago did happen few days ago, and I, you were still in my mind. But everything you say is right on. Perfect timing, precision, strategy. We should take everything that you say to heart because you speak from the heart. You are just pure love, and I thank you for that. So I decided from the cosmos to see the time. I'm just gonna wait on that and see what happens. But I wanted to say that I think you beautiful Taro. So you were right on that. It was really I was just thinking about you like she told me. Anyway, that's amazing. I am.
So we just want to clarify that even though we may have shared with you what is happening in your illusion at this time, know that you are creating it, or we could not speak with you about it. And so to always bring that, acknowledge it. Yes, we feel your gratitude and we feel your love and we appreciate that, but also allow yourself to know, I really am truly creating the reality that I desire, that I imagine, that I expect. How wonderful. All right. And so what is next?
Yes, before Tara, I want to say thank you so much. Here in Humanity Earth, NASA was given permission from the stars to people to know that we're not alone. Never have the planet. As anyway, going to the point is beautiful news, extraordinary, ordinary, awesome, and thank you very much. That is happening. An object was detected and some signal. And yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I wish from the heart, from the most precious planet that the misbehaving gets disabled. Of course, it will never be a perfect world, but I the older the negativity goes where it belongs, and hopefully that planet can come back into higher vibration. I think I said before that it was super high in the 80s and 90s. Um, it was just more comforting. And I do love technology, but there's a limitation for that. Like, dealing with humans, this is Earth, Earth, Earth. And I am honored to be here. And so any messages that to bring from my Gia to say you've been heard. And she rotate beautifully and sound beautifully because I live here and I love the fruit she produces, and the water is life. I want to thank you for
Yeah,
that.
so we do want you to be aware as you consider that it is at this time that human consciousness is at a zenith. It has never been more conscious. Humanity has never been more conscious. And Earth consciousness is available to participate in what is happening. And it requires communion with that consciousness, as you are so good at participating in dreaming the new dreams, creating the new reality. You are not alone in creating that, and you can access that, the human consciousness that is evolving. This is not though we said it is the zenith, for now, it is only the beginning of the conscious evolution of humanity at this time. You are all participating in evolving human consciousness. It is a part of what you have come to do. And so as you allow yourself to know the consciousness right now is capable of transformation. If you did nothing more, it would be enough to accomplish the dreams that you have, the visions that you have. You are enough. You are good enough. And humanity as a consciousness is enough. You have accomplished that. And so as you let that in, you begin to understand, oh, I just need to dream more dreams. I just need to choose new realities. I just need to open to something new. And so the meditation today, all about gathering from the unknowns, that which has not yet been. Does that help?
That is so beautiful, Tara. I want to share my love and your love blessings. And it was an honor to talk with you, like always. And I take that so deeply in my heart. Thank you.
Yes, you love you so.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Tell us, where do we begin?
Um, well, I finished the first draft of my movie script. So
Wonderful.
that feels amazing. And actually, Harry and Wafa and I read through the first half of it. And, it needs tweaking, obviously, but I'm just very, very happy about how it's come out. It's just, and um, it's funny because Sandy started letting Harry walk her, and Harry, he left this morning, but for the last 2 weeks, he's mostly been, well, 2 weeks or 1 week, he's been walking Sandy. And that just created the space for me to write in the morning. And I really have this clear channel with my higher self, and it just downloaded. I mean, it's, like it just, so that's been really wonderful. And then, like, because I really want my writing to be my main it. It's what I'm most excited about, but I do want to kind of keep up with Firebot. I invited somebody I know to like partner with me on doing some sales, but like really big sales with the Department of Defense and maybe some city housing authorities, ones where, maybe we could make $1 million in commission, but it might take a year or two or three for the whole thing to play out. So I'm kind of, and I met her for the first time this morning. I mean, she's acquaintance friend, but we met for the first time this morning and kind of hashed it out for 2 hours. And she has a similar vision that I do. And who knows where it's going to go. It's early days, but it just feels like everything's kind of really moving in the right direction. And I'm trying to kind of work in collaboration and co-create. And then with the book, so that feels really good. I had a huge fight with Harry yesterday. And it was this over this stupid book that we're reading for the book group. Harry's now quoting the author and quoting his facts when this guy he writes in a vacuum, like there's no before or after. And so, anyways, I don't know. It was I felt very clear at the time. It was an interesting experience in that I felt very clear about why I was upset and why Harry wronged me or whatever. And then when we were discussing it, when we were trying to kind of work things out, I was very confused about the whole thing. But overall, I did a lot of processing and it, like of rage and powerlessness and loneliness. The loneliness was so intense. And I never really got to the bottom of it. I feel like there was something so intense about it. And, like both my child and my adolescent were incredibly triggered. And then, and they both like beat up Harry and they both killed him and blew up synagogues and blew up other Jews. And I mean, did the whole thing. And then, like, I tried to, like, after I kind of got the rage and anger out, I like took both of them out of this world into another world, like didn't leave them here in this world. And even after all that processing, um, there was this intense, intense, intense loneliness and sadness. And I never pulled out of it, except that I had this meeting this morning and just kind of shifting my attention and talking about Firebot and with this kind of positive future with that just kind of pulled me out of it. But I don't feel like I got to the bottom of the loneliness, whatever. It wasn't about Harry, although I do feel like maybe because it's actually the second and bigger argument I've had with Harry over this book. I just think I'm going to tell the rabbi I don't want to participate on Thursday. There's just it's either too hard for me or there's nothing fun about this. And I really feel like this author he's um he just wants to justify why Jews get to do whatever they're currently doing. He's not moving to a positive future. And I just don't if Harry and I are arguing about it, I just don't see why I don't want to spend my time trying to convince people that my opinion's right. I just don't even want to finish the book. I could finish the book, but why spend the time doing that? I'd rather like clean up my office. Um, and I don't know whether that's just giving up on it, but it just doesn't, I just think the author is really awful. And I don't want to spend my time trying to convince people why they should not listen to him. Like, that feels like I'm just trying to be right and make other people be wrong. And let me just do something that I find more interesting and fun.
Wonderful. So to just arrive at the recognition that it is about that the game board is being right and making others wrong is very important, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you recognize so as you step off the game board, you then get to you look at it from the context of, okay, I created an illusion where I have to be right and they're wrong. That's the old lesser self strategy, isn't it? To survive.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you are familiar with it. You know that you're generating it on some level, and you're sort of still upset that you are creating that still. And yet you're in a reality of duality. You are in a world that isn't yet caught up to what's possible. So, what would you have to change within yourself? What would you have to allow in order not to get on that game board? What would be a new possible way of being where it doesn't become about being right and wrong, where it's just feedback, where the illusion is just feedback? So, what in my beliefs has me have this experience? What must be there?
I mean, what's interesting for me with Harry, I mean, I think what really, really triggered me the most was there's a sense of incredible betrayal that I had. And I've often felt betrayed by my mother. So maybe, for 2 years at the Quaker meeting, I've always stood up and I'm the one that, like, if Harry says, I don't like the words genocide and apartheid, I stand up at Quaker meeting and I'm like, this prevents a dialogue. And I've like kind of backed Harry up for 2 years. And now we're at the synagogue and reading a book that's got me all triggered. And I think he can see how hard I'm trying to work through my demons. And rather than kind of help support me as I'm trying to be a positive voice about this, he's like now quoting this asshole. I mean, that's what I really think about this author. I think he's a bigoted asshole. Um, Harry's now quoting the guy. And I feel just trying to think of what's the belief, because I feel like it feels very similar to being betrayed by my mom. Um, I mean, I don't feel like it's not about earning Harry's support, but maybe I'm never going to be supported. Maybe the belief is I'm never going to be really supported and backed up. I don't know. Um, I didn't do I mean, I'm glad I treated Harry and the way I did and tried to promote dialogue at the Quaker meeting. And now it's my turn. And rather than being supported, I feel like Harry's just helping ramp me up along with this stupid author. I was trying to ask myself the same question, and that's where this betrayal came up and this incredible sense of loneliness. And it felt like loneliness was there, but I couldn't get to a belief. I just and I never got to the bottom of the loneliness. I mean, I woke up this morning and it was still there. The pain of the loneliness was like, now that I'm telling you this, I'm bouncing back to that loneliness. It feels really awful. There's
Yeah.
something about this that really has me going.
Yeah, so the belief, so loneliness is a feeling,
Right.
and with it comes thoughts. So what must you believe if you're feeling loneliness?
That I am alone and no one's ever really going to support me.
Yeah, so that is a possible belief, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
one that makes the most sense with that emotion.
Yeah.
Now, is that all of you or some of you?
I mean, even now, it's so huge.
Yeah.
It's this is after process. I mean, I process this a lot. Over this is like after, um, yeah, it feels horrible.
It's all part of that choice to be separate in order to know who you are. It wasn't the only way to discover it, but it was the way that each of you chose. It is painful. There's a separation from God, Goddess, and a longing to return. That's the definition of pain. And how do you know you're in pain? Well, I feel lonely. I believe I am all alone. For as soon as the choice was made the separation occurred, and suddenly you didn't have the access you had before. So last week we worked on that decision that was made. And so as you recognize, okay, it's a belief, not just my belief, it's in the consensus, it's also in my lifetimes. There's a weight to it. What would it mean if I really knew that being alone is an illusion that is supportive of me becoming who I am, that was there as a mechanism for me to know who I am separate from others? What if, now that I know who I am, I don't need that anymore? But I'm so used to it. I'm so familiar with it. I have unresolved emotion around it. Or maybe it's not unresolved emotion, it's just familiar emotion. And what if this is popping up not for no reason, but because it can't come with me into my next iteration? It's not a resonant match for the me that is in dominion, for the me that is co-creating reality. The belief I am all alone and unsupported is not a resonant match. And so how do you want to make peace with it? How do you want to set it down? How do you want to say, that's not me anymore? I can always pick it back up. And I do pick it up when I sense that someone doesn't agree with me, when I'm afraid they won't love me. I pick it back up. And as you look to see, at what point did love equal agreement? When did you learn that? It's not true, and you know it's not true. It's not possible. If everybody agreed with everything you said, then, well, they would just be you, wouldn't they? And you would not be unique. You would not be individual.
I think it was like super, super, super young because my mother, whenever Edward and I would argue, my mother, like sharing of a toy, even like my mother was, why can't you just give everybody once? And I was always wrong.
Yeah.
And she, like,
Same with
so,
the book. Same with the
yeah.
book. Why can't you just agree with us that this book is right? That's not so much Harry that's the problem. It's the book.
Yeah.
So we want you to recognize the illusion is for you. And you're about to put your creative work out there in the world. Do you need everybody to agree with your point of view in the movie?
In the movie.
Yes, your movie script. Do you need everybody when you put forth your creative work as this person who wrote his book did? Do you need everybody to agree with you? Or are you
No.
open to the reality that you want to have positive impact and you're open to learning and growing and becoming more? Not everybody's going to agree with your work. Not everybody's going to agree with your point of view. What happens when that's amplified in a public way? What is a higher truth that you know?
I think it's hard. Like for me, it's harder with this book because when Harry is starting to quote, like it's clear this guy is dogmatic and like a racist, and Harry's quoting him. It feels,
And
it
so
does this.
let's just step back a moment. We understand you're fully in your emotion, you're feeling betrayed and all of that. But just, is it possible you could have had a different response to him?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's horrible because like initially I couldn't even process it because I'm like, this is just a reality. My reality was my reality want me to know. And I wasn't even allowing myself to feel my rage and the pain and I really struggled with the whole trying to talk myself out of being mad. Um,
Well, we're not talking about suppressing what's there.
no, I know, but that's what was going on with
What
like
we're
I
saying
really
is it possible that there is a different reality occurring where Harry says the words and you look at him and you say, what, now you're quoting the author? That's kind of silly. You know what I believe
Mm,
about it. Let's have a real discussion about
yeah,
it. But you couldn't have that conversation, or you couldn't laugh about it. You couldn't just be friendly about it
right,
of all your pain. Harry didn't come first.
right,
It's because you're holding on to pain that Harry says the words and you react the way you do. So yeah, you take back
right,
the power from the illusion. Oh, I'm the one who
right,
made him say those words. I'm the one, not not because I'm bad and wrong, but because I still am sitting on a pile of stuff that has to
right,
bubble up and has to be cleared out. Who do you
right,
turn it over to? You can't give it to Harry.
right,
Turn it over to
right,
the goddess. Turn it over to your higher self. I want to be done with this. It's impacting my reality. But consider that there's a bigger picture going on where you're being prepared for the Academy Awards or the red carpet that you're dreaming. Consider that you're needing to see, how do people react when there's something provocative in their reality? Wow, look at the way I react. Somebody wrote a book. Why am I making that book so real? Because I have emotion first. The book is just a trigger.
right, right,
As you release all that emotion, the book may or may not change its content, but will it have that same impact on you? No, it will not. You will be able to
right,
say, oh, okay, well, that's one person's point of view. Would you like to have my point of view? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. You've been invited to be part of the book group, so one would assume that they are welcoming your viewpoint. A viewpoint is different than a need to be right
yes,
in order to survive. So as you recognize, okay, there's many beliefs popping up here, one of which you want to address fairly quickly is, at some level, love equals agreement. And that's when I lose my sense of humor.
mm-hmm.
Because I'm not really free to express myself. And that is the child. Wasn't safe for her. And as you say, you do need to not have her deal with Harry because she is not in Harry's reality. She
Yeah,
has a different abuser. Harry's not an abuser to you, but we're just saying her abuser wasn't Harry. So having her react to Harry is not going to fix anything.
all right,
Doesn't heal it, doesn't resolve it. as you finally realized, oh, I got to take her out of this scene. Yeah, that needs to be the first thing you do. I got to take her out of the scene of her with her abuser.
Right,
That
right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And same with your adolescent.
But I was doing it, yes. I mean, I did exactly that, but I just couldn't get to the bottom of it, so yeah, I
And
couldn't.
what if you can't ever get to the bottom of it because it is your original pain? What if you're not meant to re-experience it all? What if you're intended to turn it over? This choice that I made, I thought it was a good idea, but it was so painful. I never imagined, I never had pain before. I want to turn it over with all the pain from all the lifetimes. I'm ready to forgive myself for making a decision that resulted in choosing pain. It's all starting to come together that, oh, okay, it's a matrix of choices and decisions, beliefs, attitudes, thoughts, and feelings that are essential, that were part of the separation from, so that you could individuate, so that you could co-create consciously. The luminous
I,
intent being, I want to know who I am when I co-create with God Goddess. And each of
it's,
you having to address that. Go ahead. Yes.
I do think, and now that you're saying that, it feels like it's so intense. It feels like the original pain. It feels like, I think that's what this is. It's the original. How did you call it? What did you call it? The original.
Yes.
Uh,
It's the original pain, the
that's
separate.
what it is. Yeah, I mean, I've been like almost hysterical for a couple of days.
And
No
as you
matter,
let yourself know, there are some things like this you cannot do alone. You can't fix it. You have to turn it over to someone more. And there's a
Mm,
part of you that says, but it's so unforgivable. But it's not. You're already forgiven. And so to just do the ritual of forgiveness, the conscious you that you are now can do that ritual for all your lifetimes, because you are the most conscious. Does that help?
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, a lot.
Yes. And what will it be to be free? Well, you gathered from the unknown today so that you would have what you need. All right, we love you so.
Can I?
Hello, Tara.
Yes, dear one.
Wonderful to be here again. So much of what Helen was talking about has been fundamental to my week, and this aloneness, and just the feeling, really feeling a lot of distance from my higher self, and the feeling of having anybody to help, and almost almost just thinking, well, I don't know how I
So
can ever get.
just to get context,
Yeah.
continuous disconnection or once in a while?
Well, when I'm dealing with stuff, I'm just finding it very difficult to think spiritually. I mean, to think, from a point of creating something, creating my reality, of even connecting with my child and adolescent in that, in the early way.
Okay, so
It,
let's talk about who are you being? If you're not connected to higher self and you're not available to child and adolescent, who are you? Who's Henry? Who's the Henry that's walking around doing his life? If you're not consciously aware of higher self and you're not able to allow your child and your adolescent to be more real, who do you suppose you are?
well, I suppose my child.
Well, not really. No, you're just a grown up, just a human being that has no spirituality,
Yes, it's feeling like
no sense of spirit, no sense of connection to God, Goddess, no
right. Well,
awareness of who you truly are. Now you're essentially the lesser self surviving,
yes,
and the lesser self only has certain tools available to him.
yeah,
He has tools, they're just not the ones that create the magic or the connection. So, in order to step into you the more, and this is an efforting thing, you don't wake up in you the more.
no,
You wake up into whatever the consensus is right now for you. Now, there will be a time when you will wake up into you the more. But at the moment, if you're not feeling joy and if you're not being creative and full of wonder and free to be, then just assume you're in your lesser self and that you're really only focused on surviving. And as you let in, wait a minute, I'm not focused on generating a new future if I'm
right,
just surviving what's so right now. What if the me who is more, who is connected, had a look at what I'm dealing with right now? So there's certain activities. So we're going to use something simple. So John and Katrina had a very interesting move from John's father's apartment into storage. And they thought, well, this is going really well. We have all the help we need. We made decisions quickly. And these two young lads came to move things. And the very first thing that happened was they broke something. And then hours later, and Katrina even made the comment, wow, they are taking a lot of time. But they didn't actually pause and segment intend for something new in a more conscious way. They just allowed and allowed and allowed. And in the end, John did the work of the movers, at least 50% of the work, and had to repack the storage and everything, as he realized these two young guys were not experienced at all in moving things or packing things. And so at the end, John said, wow, why did we create this mess? And they could have felt sorry for themselves, felt like, oh, what kind of magicians are we? And they did have some of that going on. But as they asked us, well, what was really going on? Was that John had a higher priority of being helpful. And he essentially trained these two guys how to properly pack a truck and how to move it into storage. And he said, if you don't want to learn this, you probably want to get a different job. So as you understand, he had impact. His higher priority was having positive impact. He had positive impact on these two.
Hmm.
And they had an impact on him because they allowed him to be more of who he truly is, the helpful person he is, the one who has expertise, who knows how to do things, the one who knows how to fit something into a space. So as you look to see every day, okay, some things don't go the way I want them to go. But what's the higher truth? Who do I get to be? Who did I get to help? What did I get to express of myself? Rather than spending a whole bunch of time on what's wrong with me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, and yes, and yes,
And
and
so
when
as you know you have the opportunity, well, I can see now that if I had segment intended, maybe I would have asked more questions early on. Maybe I could have done it different. Maybe, but maybe there was something more happening that I was more aligned with. I'm more aligned with being creative, with being passionate, with being magical. And I get upset when my reality is not that way. But maybe I don't need to be upset. Maybe I can keep visualizing and putting out there to the universe, higher self, bring me opportunities to be more. I don't know how that's going to look today, but I'm just going to put it out there. I want to be more. And then at the end of the day, I'll evaluate, how did that work? How did I do? Does that help?
yes, yes, it gives me a sense of. I
So I
mean,
want you
yes,
to approach it with a little bit more fun and less work, because the efforting has been around, well, if I fix my child, if I fix my adolescent, if I only I could connect with my higher self, then things would be better. No, just be who you are. And every single moment you have the opportunity to center, to ground, to open to something new. So that pausing, if something out here isn't the way you want it, the pausing is important. Helen demonstrated that really well. I kind of knew it wasn't Harry, but I still felt betrayed. I still went into the old stuff. I couldn't dissociate Harry from my original stuff,
hmm,
because Harry's the illusion, he's the projection. It is related. He's saying the words he's saying because of what was going on inside. So when you bring yourself back into you and say, okay, higher self, this isn't the illusion that I want to be experiencing, but something about it triggered me. So there must be something for me to heal. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. So give me some choices. Do I need to go into the emotions? Do I need to do a forgiveness process? Can I turn it over to someone more? Sometimes that's the key. Sometimes it is important to turn it over and to know that that is you the more co-creating. I'm willing to have impact from those who are more. I'm willing to receive their guidance, their love, their light. I'm willing to be a part of that more. And there's the you that's all alone, then the lesser self that says, no, I've always had to go it alone. No, I know I'm safer if I do it alone. But then you don't get the magic. then you don't get the knowing you're loved. You don't get the worth that is given. That's what was missing in the lesser self. And so as you recognize, okay, I'm going to flip-flop between the two for a while, but my time in my lesser self is less and less. And when I'm in my lesser self, I don't really like my life. And that's how I know I'm in it. I can't see the future.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that you have to see something specific in your future. Sometimes a sense of future is simply knowing there are many possibilities. And that's a sense of future. I know I can create anything. And that, just knowing that brings me joy. That is a quality of you the more. The lesser self has never had that sense of openness to the future. The lesser self has always just been surviving the past, trying to fix it, trying to be enough, good enough. And so as you recognize, okay, I'm always going to have both, but me the more knows how to evolve the lesser self by working with the child, by working with the adolescent, even with the young adult sometimes. Letting them know they're not responsible for your reality. So what do they want in theirs?
Hmm.
They can create anything. And the more freedom you give them to dream something new and create something new, and then your higher self and you bring them to that new scenario, the more freedom you have. Because you're building the belief, oh, that was pretty easy. Oh, I could do that for myself. Oh, I'm not alone after all. I have a higher self. All of these connections begin to be made. And then now here you are, the spiritual adult, fully connected and capable of dreaming something new for yourself. You're building belief. Does that help? All right.
Yes, when you say turn it over, I mean I know what that is, but I think I know what that is, but it kind of does it. I'm thinking, well, I'm just saying, I ask for help with this to allow this to be whatever it is, but to I can't even think of the words at the moment, but
Okay, so let's do the role playing from the lesser self point of view. So you're in the lesser self, nothing's working, you're upset, blah, blah, blah. Very familiar state. Feeling alone is how you know you're in your lesser self, okay?
yes, and with some desperate problems that I don't know how to
Yes,
solve.
yes. So awareness of all the problems, and I'm all alone, and I better get my act together, I better fix it, or some negative future is going to happen.
Yeah,
So the only sense of future is that everything doom and gloom and dire and has to be right now. Or the negative future will play out. So there's not really a true sense of future. There's only a negative future that you picked up from the past. And you know that's the one that's going to happen if you don't do something about it right now. Okay? So that's the lesser self. Does that make sense?
yes. Although
Okay, so where in that is the connection with higher self?
There isn't.
And it's implied, isn't it? If Henry doesn't do anything, well, nobody else is going to do anything either. It's all up to Henry, isn't it?
Right, and I
So
find myself,
built into I'm all alone in this is the evidence. Well, nothing has ever happened unless I did it, unless I fixed it, unless I did what they told me to do, unless and when I don't do anything, it just gets worse. So there is no higher self, is there?
right. Although what you're saying, it hasn't been bleak like that in the past somehow.
Yeah. So
But
so so in that moment of thinking I'm all alone, you don't actually have a higher self. You have a projection of parent
yes, right,
onto the world, onto higher self, onto God, goddess. Okay. So
right.
remember that. That's very important. So your perception is a projection of what you knew as a child and as you knew as an adolescent and you knew as a young adult. And now everything always looks like that when you're in your negativity. And you're not always there. We don't believe you when you say you're always there. We know better.
No,
So, okay, so that's one way of being. And it happens especially when there's something that needs to get done. So you have a triggering event, much like the book club for Helen. You have something that needed to get done that isn't done. That's a struggle or difficult. It's something difficult for you to do alone, and it makes you feel alone. And with that comes emotions. What would you say the primary emotion in that is?
um,
Is there emotion?
well, I think it's feeling that I'm just not not going to be able to do it, or what's the point? Is the kind of what's the point kind of come
Okay,
up
so you
in a way.
just skip all the emotion and go straight into apathy.
Yeah.
So you take your poison. All right, we understand. So at some point, you'll need to look at that. What am I really numbing out? We would suggest going into the domain of the peacemaker, the morbid fear. So it's not just fear. What does morbid fear mean? It means I'm going to die.
Yes, fear of death. Yeah,
Yeah, it means I'm going to cease to exist.
yeah.
And how responsive do you think you can be if you really think you're going to die if you take an action?
Well, that's what I've been feeling. Is less and less able to respond
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's tied up in the apathy first. The obvious thing to you is, oh, I feel like why bother? What's the point? But underneath it is, if I take an action, I'm going to die. If I take no action, I'm going to die.
Right.
And that's why you take the anesthetic. That's why you decide, what's the point anyway? So if you were to know who is the one that is afraid of taking action, child or adolescent, which one got in trouble?
Well,
Which one couldn't do anything without permission from someone else?
well, I think I was child.
Yeah. So he's the one who needs to be rescued
Right.
so that your activity can be restored to you, so that your responsiveness can be restored to you.
Right. Responsiveness. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, your ability to respond.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Henry, the weight of the other lifetimes is the real problem.
Hmm.
It's not all about this lifetime. It's about bringing all your lifetimes home.
Yeah.
And so you're going to need some help. Just as Helen's going to be bringing all her lifetimes home around her topic, you're going to do the same. This is for all of you. It's time to do this. There's something that has been holding you back. Whatever it is. For Henry, it's the morbid fear. If I take action, I will die. If I don't take action, I will die. I'm stuck.
Absolutely.
There is no good answer. There is no path forward. So you're going to ask for help. You're going to ask your higher self. You're going to say, look, I'm aware. I'm conscious of it now. And I need help. And I need help receiving help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want it done while I'm sleeping. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I've had lifetimes of it. I don't need to spend time. I just need to allow. And when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to let you lift this. And when I wake up tomorrow, I want validation, verification, evidence. I want to be lighter, feel lighter, whatever that means. I want to see something. I want to respond to something. In your case, Henry, it's responding. I want to be able to respond automatically with harm to none, with elegance at ease. Ready to have positive impact. And I need this ability to respond, to be restored to me, to be restored to all my lifetimes. And you're going to allow that to happen while you dream. Because you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
It has to come from God, Goddess, from soul and spirit, from higher self. Does it mean you're never going to feel fear? No, you'll probably still feel fear, but will you be free of morbid fear? Yes, you will. You will be free. Does that help?
Yes, it does. And the um, just there's many problems at the moment that have come along, but
There
you
always
know,
are, Henry. There are
yeah.
always problems.
But these there's two that just seem so. I just can't see my.
Yeah, and at this stage, you cannot because of this fixed way of being.
Yeah.
You're in a resonance called morbid fear,
Yeah.
and you have to ask to have it lifted.
Right.
And then you got to fill that space with what you gathered from the unknown.
What I gather from.
From the unknown today.
Oh, right.
Where did you go in the meditation?
Um, I think I went to into the water, and then the not the ocean. and then to well, I was thinking I was going to the beautiful unknown because I know that, but um, the mystical unknown was also
Yeah, the
suggesting.
mystical other, yes. So the going into the pool of water was about releasing a fixed identity,
Right.
allowing yourself to have open boundary. So when you release the you that is who cannot respond, who's in
Yeah.
morbid fear, that's a fixed identity.
Right.
And it's a theme in your lifetime. So that's the weight of the lifetime. So you let that go, you let it go. And now you're open to gathering from the mystical other where new dimensions, new ways of being show up that have never been. Awareness of dimensionality, of reality. You have some awareness because of your lifetimes in fairy and Lemuria and all that, but now a new level of flexibility is available to you. And here we are talking about, well, what needs to be given up? The idea that I'm stuck,
Yeah.
that I can't move. Beautiful. You're right on track.
Hooray!
Yes. Hooray. Absolutely. All right. We love you so.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Yes, we love you so.
Hi, Tara. Thank you for
Yes,
taking.
dear one.
So, a number of things. One is I'm having a problem with my hip. I have a lot of pain in it. It's my left hip. And basically, it's a pain in the ass because that's where the pain is originating in the gluteus muscles. And then it extends to the outer edge. And, it's first chakra related and also second chakra, I think, related. It's my left side, so I think it has something to do with receiving and self nurturing. Um, so, and a lot of anger and martyr, just been huge and not good enough stuff. And I want to move forward and give more voice to my creativity. And I thought it was going in one direction, and as I'm listening to everybody tonight, I kind of have the thought it's not. It needs to go in a different direction. So anyway, I'm confused and angry and in a lot of physical pain.
Yes. All right. Well, let's handle the pain first. So hips are about direction. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In your case, the pain is on the left, but it's because of the right side not moving that the left is in pain. So that taking that step forward with the right side is what's needed, the action. So you've had a lot of input. You've had a lot of exploration of what do I want to do next? But now when it comes time to taking the step forward,
Mm-hmm.
what holds you back? What's the thought or the emotion that holds you back from making a decision or from choosing the direction you're going to go in?
There are a number of things that's complicated. Um, there's a lot of complication, but I think the biggest one is I've had a certain amount of success in my life and in some areas, but it's like a box. And I work with my success cube, but I think that my child and adolescent still want to stay connected to my parents. and I can only have just so much success, and then it's not okay. It's like I'm committing a crime because they wouldn't approve, or it wasn't their values or their vision of themselves. It's like being tethered. I can go so far, but if I go further than that, things happen and destroy the success or destroy what the success did for me that I created. And God forbid I should be happy or having fun, because when that, my perception and my child's perception was that when she was laughing and having fun and being creative, she was punished physically, verbally. I mean, when I tell you all the pictures of painful incidents from my childhood have just been swirling these last 48 hours. It's unbelievable. Every hurtful, diminishing, abusive thing that ever happened is keeps coming up, and I've dealt with these things, but obviously not. So,
Well, actually, you have dealt with them, but with the weight of the lifetimes, there's one more step to do. In order to bring your lifetimes home, they must also be free of whatever it is that you've become aware of. And clearly, you have healed what that is because you are a creative person, not just as a being, but also in your vocation, in your career. And so, as you really let in, no, I did resolve that.
mhm,
But it's coming up because I'm going to choose something new. And
yeah,
that's what happened when I was young. It was when I was being truly creative and inventive that this reaction from my outer world showed up that would lead me to question myself and to seek their approval was the child's way of fitting in. Well, what do you want? Maybe I'll just do that.
exactly. And that's really something I've been asking to be freed from, is
Yeah.
that need to get approval. Just, that
So your
could,
child, it's all right for her to create a reality where she tries something new and then her parents adore her for it.
yeah.
It's not the experience you had. We're clear on that. But it's the one she deserves to have.
Mhm.
And so that's what you need to do over and over with her until you really trust. Yeah, she's got different, she may have the same parents, they may look the same, but their responses are different. She gets to have the version of your parents or new parents that are whole and complete, that are enlightened, that are loving.
Yeah. Because I asked her what she needs or what
Yeah.
can do for her, and she was real specific. She wanted a father who would tell her how wonderful she was, how clever.
Yeah, because she was. And
Yeah.
she needs parents who support who she is. Yeah. And for those of you who haven't been able to have parents be believable, it's okay to turn your child and your adolescent over to your higher self, who you trust.
Mhm.
You're not doing it wrong by not being able to get your parents to be who your child or your adolescent need them to be. Just allow yourself to know, okay, I'm just not there. These parents will not work. I either have to get brand new parents who don't have the baggage, or if I lack imagination around that, that's usually a clue. Turn your child over to your higher self. Let her be safe. Let her have unconditional love.
And that terrifies me, unconditional love. It's
So
terrifying.
does it terrify your child or you're the spiritual adult?
I think I think it's more my child and especially my adolescent because I got in touch with that. I was working with um, building your personal dream. And in the third week, you just allow your higher self to come into the picture and show you. And I felt unconditionally loved and I was terrified. My thought was, oh my God, what will I have to do? Because love always meant punishment to me.
And
And
so you understand the irony there.
absolutely
Unconditional love does not have conditions.
right.
And so there is nothing to do to receive it other than to simply enjoy it, to allow that love to change you. And maybe that was the real fear, the dread. I will be changed into someone I don't recognize who won't get the approval that has meant so much to me.
That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, so you're right there at that boundary. If I step over the line into unconditional love and letting that love change me, I can never go back to letting their approval mean more than loving myself.
Right. And I think that's probably what came to me was, with all these, the replay of all these incidents. It's my child slash martyr because that's where she created martyr. That no, you can't go ahead. You have to stay connected. Remember this, remember that. It's like, am I making any sense?
Yes, yes, your identity is wrapped up in being the you that your child and your adolescent are familiar with, the one who really let others dictate who you are. So when at the end of the day, then who is Patricia?
Exactly.
Now, you have developed a sense of self. You are the creative genius that you are known and valued for. Now, how that becomes limiting, what's happening now with your hips is I'm afraid if I step out of how I know to be that people reward, what if they don't reward the me that I become next?
Mhm.
What if I give all this up of what I know to be so, and I step into something and then they don't approve of me and they don't reward me? Now you go right back into the lesser self survival. How am I going to survive?
Right. And right back into the terror of loneliness.
Yeah.
That
So
is
a theme
so tempting.
today has been around how do I heal that original loneliness? The choice to be alone, to become the individual. Now that you're the individual, you don't need to make that choice anymore, but you don't know how not to. Because being together meant having to not be you.
Right.
I have to please them. I have to cater to them. I have to make sure they approve of me. I have to get their validation. Very much the adolescent.
Mhm.
If I just be me, I can't guarantee that I will get their reward. And then that goes into, so what's the point anyway? I might as well just not choose who I'm going to be. And now your hips are locked up because your leg won't make the step forward into who you want to be.
Yeah. And,
Your left side is in pain because you know that if you don't take that step, life isn't worth living. So you're each of you who have spoken for the group as a whole are all at this point of, if you don't take the step into the new, it's painful because you have grown, you have changed. And the old stuff isn't coming up for no reasons. It's coming up to be healed, to be turned over to someone more who can lift it. Turn it over to your higher self. And open yourself to new choices. See, if you've only given yourself one choice, there's fear. Give yourself several choices. It creates a different sense of freedom. It lessens that dread that comes from having only one choice, either to stay where you are or to shift into the new one choice. That creates dread. But if you have multiple choices, 3 to 5 minimum, before you, and then there's the you now. Well, with 3 to 5, you can begin to assess and imagine and make connections. And out of those 3 to 5 choices, you actually create an even more luminous choice. And then you just step into it. It's a magical process. It's not magical, it's not linear. It requires desire, imagination, expectation, and crossing the bridge of belief. And so as your body's saying, no, I'm not going to take that step, then that means there's more choices that need to be presented. Okay, I found something I want to move into, but because my body's telling me not to, I need to go create more information. I need to gather from the unknowns. I need to spend time in imagination, and I need to give myself more to evaluate. More complexity will bring the ease. Does that help?
Yes. And I when I was been processing this, I did tell that younger me, I said, we don't need this pattern anymore. We're safe without it. We can have fun. We can
And
explore.
then give her the reality where she's actually having the fun that is meaningful to her.
Yeah.
Not your version of fun, but her version. So what's difficult sometimes to understand is that your inner child and your inner adolescent really are in parallel, unique aspects of you. They're not in you. The memories that live inside of you are your past from your timeline. The free child, the magical child, they're actually in a parallel.
Right.
They exist in their own reality. And the same with the adolescent. The curious, the free adolescent lives in a different parallel from your timeline. And they become your new backdrop that makes sense for the future you're creating. The future that's creating you against their backdrop is a more luminous future. But you're the point of consciousness. You have choice. You have all the power. You may not recognize that all the time. It feels like it's all happening to me. Yeah, but when you remember who you are and that your role is to choose something new again and again and again, then it becomes a little more fun. Oh, I can't really get it wrong, but I can choose the direction we're going to head in. And it can be as broad as optimal future in the new world of dominion, or it can be closer in. No, I want to be the artist that's celebrated. I want to be, uh, have the home that I want to have. I want to drive the car that I want to drive. I want to have the companionship. I want to have the sense of family. I want to have that sense of spiritual family and all that connection with the unseen realm.
Mhm.
I want my art to be driven by my spirituality, my relationship with God Goddess. I want my soul to commune with me and create something new. And that is who you are. And when you really let that be who you are in all areas of your life, you're living a magical life. Does that help?
Yes, and that's what I say to this friend of mine all the time. I have a very magical life. I live a magical life.
Yes, you do.
And I do. And yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and the pain is just an indicator. Oh, okay, I'm separate from myself,
Yes.
longing for the me who is more. And I don't have to stay in pain. I can integrate.
Right. And it wasn't my left arm has been in pain now for more than a year. And again, I got it's anything for more. It's the same thing as my left hip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You're right on track.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
All right. And so a theme, building on last week's meditation to end the decision to be all alone. So much depth and a greater understanding of, wow, the weight of those lifetimes really is real and needs to be addressed. I'm here to bring all my lifetimes home, and I'm beginning to understand it doesn't have to be difficult. I have to remember to ask for help. And that there is an innate dread that occurs that precedes true change. And that's how you know you're right on track. You don't stay in the dread, but you acknowledge it for what it is. Oh my gosh, there's something really frightening about giving up the me I know to step into a brand new me. But I am enough. I have done enough and I am good enough. And I'm not alone. And that's what's being given up, is the idea that I have to do it all alone. Beautiful. All right, and we love you so, and go for now. As we bring Katrina back, we go with love and peace. Until next time.